Hi everyone, I want to talk about my visa interview experience at Delhi Consulate for Fall 25. I'll just straight get into my experience. I'll create a separate video for my OFC appointment and this entire process of how I booked my slots and what documents I carried. I just want to keep it as minimal as I could. So I would just want to talk about my experience here. And first things first, the pressure is real, not till you're sitting at home, but once you enter the embassy it just gets so real. You see a lot of people getting rejected. What really bothered me a lot was when parents were waiting outside the embassy for their child and few people were getting rejected, and there were a lot of crying happening. It really broke my heart, but that's not how I want to start my video. I'll just talk about my experience first. Yes, my visa got approved. Yay. Yeah, so my visa got approved. My interview barely lasted for like 40 seconds. I'm very grateful that I got a pretty chill consulate that day. So firstly he asked me what is my purpose of going to the US. I simply said that I'm going there to pursue my masters in this and this program. Then he said which university. I told him that I'm going to this university, and then he further asked what other universities I applied to. I named all the top programs that I applied to, and he cut me off in between. I could hardly mention two universities. I said, oh yes officer, I have applied to this university and this, and he cut me off instantly. Then he asked me when did I graduate. I simply said 2022, and he followed up with another question asking what have I been doing since then. I wanted to mention that I have quit my job, but he did not let me again fully answer my question. I could only say I had been working as a software engineer. He cut me off, and then he moved to the next question. How am I funding my education? I just mentioned one source of funding, and he cut me off in between. And I mentioned the amount in USD. However, it does not matter if you talk in dollars or in INR. They are pretty much aware about the conversion. And then he asked me what does my father do. Could not explain fully about what my father's occupation is. I just simply could speak for about 4 words that officer, my father primarily works in, and two an additional words on top of it. That's it. It created a lot of panic in me, but students told me that they will interrupt you. They just want to move forward with all the details, so do not panic. It's not a bad sign that they are cutting you off. It's just that they want to move on to the next question. And then he asked me how much is his annual income, and then I again mentioned the details. I just simply said the numbers. I did not exaggerate in a sentence, and I said that in INR. Firstly I mentioned that source of funding thing in USD, then I said about this in INR. And then he asked me have I ever been to US before to study, and I simply said no officer. And I just kept waiting for a minute, and he was typing some details in his computer, and then he said your visa is approved, I'm gonna keep your passport, have a safe flight. That was it. I know there were 5 to 6 questions, I guess, but I could not simply answer even one full question except for my purpose of going to US and about my university. That's it. That was all about my experience. However, I've seen a couple of consulates asking about. So I come from a software engineering background, so I could understand the questions. One consulate was asking about how the compiler works and what coding languages do they know, and I was like, what, how am I supposed to talk about it? I do not want to talk about tech to a consulate, right? And then again I got a lot of panic. It is real, but trust me, I hear a lot of people say ki getting a visa is all based on luck. I agree to some extent, but I feel जब आप इतनी दूर आ गए हो, right from making a decision to going to the US, applying to the universities, before that even giving your exams, right, getting in your first choice or second choice or a choice of university as well, definitely your luck played its part, right? So if you're giving your interview today, you're definitely lucky. Please consider yourself lucky. I really think if you have genuine reasons to go to the US, no consulate would reject you. But then again, I do not know everybody's experience. Is just based on what I think. And you need to be confident. That's the number one tip I have. Be confident. I heard a lot that you should wear formals, but I wore semi formals and it went fine for me. Yeah, please please fill your own DS 160. I remember a student who got his DS 160 filled by a consultant, and when he was asked about a certain question, he did not know the answer. Don't do that. That's just like apne hi pair pe kulhadi marna. And one more thing. So there was a girl just next to me when I was waiting in the queue. There were two other girls who were standing right next to me. So I was just chatting with them, and one of them was very nervous. I understand that, but she kept looking at people coming back outside the embassy, and I told her not to do that because every time there were people having their passport back, she kept looking at them and she kept making herself nervous. I told her not to do that. I myself did not look at any student who came back outside the embassy because I knew it's gonna affect my confidence. So I just kept talking to those two girls, and I just kept, making jokes because laughing and making jokes is like my coping mechanism for stress, and that's, I think, really helped me. I did not listen to any interview unless I was in the main queue where you can actually hear people talking. I just wanted to know about what questions they are being asked. That's all. I did not look at students whether or not they were getting rejected. Don't do that. Besides, one more advice that I want to give is, sure, confidence is the key, but based on my observation and based on my understanding, university's brand matters the most. I'll tell you one instance. There was a girl before me in the queue. Trust me, she was way more confident than me. She had way better inputs than me. I discussed my answers with her, which is not the best approach, by the way. Oh, wow, here go one more tip. Do not discuss your answers with other people in the queue, because when you hear somebody else's answer, you try to find some good points, and when you hear that, you might end up messing your own answers. So do not discuss your answers. It's for your own best. And so what I was talking about is, there was one more girl before me. She was definitely more confident than me. She was wearing formals, but what happened was she got rejected. You know why? Because her university was not a very, a very known university. So I really think that that's where the luck matters. If you have a genuine reason, if you have a good university, if you have a strong intent of going to the US, you're not going to get rejected. What really matters is the university name. That's where you need your luck, because if your university is not does not have a good brand, there are maximum chances that you might get rejected. That was my observation when I was standing in that queue. And that girl that I was talking about, who felt nervous, who kept looking at students coming back out of the embassy, she herself got rejected. She was going to a very good university, I would say. I have not talked to her a lot after our interviews because she seemed really upset, and I wanted to give her space. But I really think that affected her confidence. But what I feel is, she built too much pressure on herself when we were standing in the queue. I told you she kept looking at the passports. I have not analyzed her answers. I do not know the exact reason, but that's what I feel. That's one of my opinions. Just to make you understand that don't look at the students coming back. Just focus on your answers. Just focus on yourself. Have a conversation with people around. Do not give yourself that burden. So my top two most important tips would be, have a genuine reason and have a good enough branded university. And secondly, do not look at the students coming back out of the embassy. That really wears your confidence down. Those two tips really helped me. Also, just because I had this experience does not mean it's gonna be that simple for everybody. You need to prepare yourself with certain questions and how you are going to answer them. You need to structure them. बस एक लिस्ट है जो जो क्वेश्चंस मैंने अपने लिए प्रिपेयर किए थे. I can share all those questions and my answer. You can take my answer as a sample just in case it helps you. I'll just read it out for you. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll just read it out for you. A little disclaimer: I am going to pursue MEM program, which is like an engineer's MBA. So the very first question that I prepared for was, why the US? I wrote, the US is home to the world's top MEM programs. The ecosystem here works on practical learning, and for someone like me who wants to get into product management, studying MEM in US offers an unmatched international learning environment and skill development, which is essential for me once I come back home and grow my career in product management. And the second question is why this university. I simply wrote that I first attended the this university's lecture back in 2019 on Coursera platform. I instantly got impressed with their practical teaching style. It has built my connection with the university already, but I have many other reasons too. Firstly, the MEM program at this university is known for its strong curriculum in product management with subjects like design thinking and advanced finance in corporates. And the second reason is I'm really excited to learn from Professor David Brown, who covers decision models, which is extremely crucial for product management. And third was an optional. It depends like how long I could go for the answer. I simply wrote that I look forward to participating in this university's product management club, which will enhance my team skills as well. Then the next question is why masters now after a work experience. Through my graduation and my previous employment, I have learned how to build the technical solutions. Masters now will teach me what exactly to build and whom to build those technical solutions for. And it requires a solid understanding of user centric designs. This masters Pursuing masters now will help me bridge that gap and provide the strategies to build the product from 0 to 1. That's all. That's it for why masters now. um, the next question is, if given an opportunity, will you work here in the US? I said if I find a good enough opportunity, I might consider working for a year. After that, I'll have to come back home as I have responsibilities towards my family. That's all. Um, what's after graduation? Post graduation, I wish to come back to my home country and find a career in product management. There are plenty of companies near to my home offering career in product management, and that's where exactly I want to apply my skills. um, why should I grant you the visa? I have worked really hard to be here and have great admits. I have a clear goal to advance my skills in product management. You granting me a visa will help me achieve this goal, and I have more than enough funds to support my education. Next, what if I don't approve your visa? While I would be disappointed, I completely respect your decisions. I believe in my goals and I'll take your feedback seriously, analyze our conversations, um, and reapply again after addressing any concerns. My intent to study in the US and return home remains unchanged. Now, here a lot of students suggested me to not to look desperate to study in US. Have your backup plan explained here. But then again, I did not modify my answer. Um, then why masters not in India? India currently lacks a true equivalent to the MEM program. The only similar option is an MBA, which requires intense CAT preparation and uncertain outcomes. The US offers specialized program like the program in my university, which combines tech and business, exactly where I need to grow into a business leader. What have you been doing after quitting your job? After leaving my job for the initial few months, I prepared for my master's application. Then I began taking online courses to build structure around the user research and product strategy. Now I'm just spending some time with my family to build memories before I fly out. That's all I wrote. Um, the next question is, tell me how your undergrad is related to your master. A disclaimer that I done my bachelor's in computer science and now I'm gonna be pursuing MEM, which is master's in engineering management. It's like an engineer's MBA. So I simply wrote that I have studied computer science, so I've learned how to build the product. What MEM will teach me is what to build and whom to build the product for. MEM will teach me how to hit the right customer segment, and that's where I want to bridge my gap. That's all the questions that I prepared before going for the visa interview. But I heard people were also mentioning about the city you are gonna be living in. The professors, like, do you know any professors in the college, and how will I manage the educational and cultural differences in the US? And that's all, that's all. And what are your majors and how many credits are there? Do you have any other admits also? That's it. That's all the questions that I prepared my answers for. I'll again repeat the same thing. As long as you're a genuine student and you have your intent clear, you did not worry about anything. You just give your best. It's a matter of just 2 minutes. You have given much more harder interview for a job, right? So just have your intent clear and know your why you're going to a certain university and why US in the first place, and why certain program. Just have all those answers ready. I'm sure you must have mentioned all those questions in your SOP as well. So just have a quick read and remember all those goals that you have set for yourself in the beginning of making a decision to go to the US, and you should be good. That's all. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll share my Calendly link below. I can take a couple of mocks for you just to help you build your confidence. All the very best. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and please subscribe to my channel. I want to talk more about my journey as an international student. It would really help me if you subscribe to this channel. In my other video, I'll be talking about the documents I carried, the folder I carried, how I got my slots, and what exactly is the process once you receive your I-20. Please stay tuned. I wish you all the very best. I hope it helped. Thank you for watching.